Clips, clips. And remember, citizens, always subscribe and hit the bell. Everything will be well in 1995. Plus, shipping and handling will keep you out of hell. Why does a dog wag its tail? Because a dog is smarter than its tail. If the tail were smarter, the tail would wag the dog. Wag the dog in politics is the act of creating diversion from a damaging issue. Here at Wag the Dog News, the tail doesn't wag the dog. Enjoy. Clips, clips. And remember, citizens, always subscribe. Hit the bell. Everything will be well. 1995. Plus, shipping and handling will keep you out of hell. Out of hell. Alrighty, boob tubes, welcome to Wag the Dog News. News from all the sides. Laugh at all the liars and allow you to make your own mind up without pushing shit on you. But having a joke and a giggle at the mess of things because there's nothing else to do but to laugh in the face of it while I smoke my glass stick. Sorry I didn't make it over the last few days. Combination of life getting in the way, stuff to do, and a wee bit of sunburn, which it doesn't look like. It just still look like Casper the Ghost. But this is the most colour I've actually had since the pandemic. Bullcrap. But no need to worry, because the Ukraine war solved the pandemic. And the mess of the Conservative Party and Partygate and all that jazz solved the Ukraine war. It's brilliant how that things that are just told to you the biggest thing since World War II just get knocked down the news cycle as the bullshit runs out. So welcome one and all. If you do appreciate Wag the Dog News, I try and make it every Monday to Friday at 1 o'clock, but sometimes life gets in the way. Maybe meeting the dudes and dudettes from the Light newspaper again tonight. I think maybe some of them actually might want to go on camera this time. You know what I mean? I don't let Charlie Veets just rock up and rattle a camera in people's faces that may or may not want to be fucking filmed. It's legal! It's legal! It's a free country! Fuck off, Veets, you're a leech. Anyway, so if some of them want to, they may go on camera. As Thursday, after reading the paper and stuff, I ended up meeting the dude that I knew back in the day, who, by the way, I only recently became aware of this, became sceptical of the SNP dictatorship because of some of the fucking rants and raves that I had. Ding, ding, ding. It's always good when you hear somebody exploring different avenues because they hear a alternative point of view. I mean, wait for the top of the hour. I mean, are people not scared that when you turn on the BBC, Fox News and all your mainstream media, they're all now talking about false flags and that three-quarters of their programming are like hit pieces and conspiracy theories and stuff? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. News is no longer news. They don't even dress it up as such. The so-called this and the so-called that. Aren't they? What do you mean the so-called? What the fuck does that actually mean? What some of Orwellian bullcrap is calling it? The so-called this, the so-called Donetsk Republic, the so-called Islamic State or whatever. Who solved them again? Remember they were a problem? It's well funny. So, welcome one and all, if yous can join tonight. Look, there's the Star of David on the floor of the British lobby, and that was there and designed a hell of a long time before the flag of Israel. Just saying. It looks a little something like that, but it's not got the G in the middle. Anywho's, so we'll do a wee bit of the Sky News and then catch up on the BBC's, because the Sky News is funny because they're independent journalists, real journalism. They're on the right, and some would say the BBC are on the left, so it'll be funny to see. How long have we got? 4 minutes to kick off. It's annoying they don't do a timestamp on their... I can see the future. Yeah, still a few more minutes to go. We'll see when that's kicking off. In the afternoon, Age of Crocodile and Gabby Graham. In the afternoon, gents. Remember, if you do appreciate the Wag Dog News, stick a wee thumbs up, because that is appreciated also. Battle for number 10! This is a battle royale! Thought they were having a vote, to be honest. Sky News has turned it into a battle.
For number 10, join the audience. Remember, in around about half an hour's time, the voting will close on the second round of who will be.
Yeah, they're voting today. Now we're down to 6. We'll get the details of how many votes they need to get to stay in this round. Don't know how many it goes down to after this round, but we shall find out. But voting start finishes at 1:30, and we'll get the results by, I think it was either 3 or 5. I think it might be 3. So that will be interesting. See who our next master's going to be. And remember, in this country, we do not elect a prime minister or a president. We elect the party. And we all know how politicians like to party. So basically, like, the Conservative Party is electing now our new leader. I think Tony Blair. No, but Margaret Thatcher done a good job of positioning herself as like sort of a dictator-in-chief, didn't she? She was dead authoritarian and had the final say in the ladies not for turning. Was it something like that she said? Anyway, man, Sky News love their whole world of weather reports. But as Boris Johnson coined it, the Darwinian system, survival of the fittest, that's what's getting applied in the Conservative Party. They're all eating each other. And, like, whether you like Bobo or not, me personally, I'd have kept him in for entertainment value. I don't see much changing. I'd have kept him in for the lols, as they call it. But the politicians will eat each other at a drop of a hat, man. Look at Gordon Brown going after Blair, and the Conservative Party, Bobo going after Theresa May, and his clique going after Theresa May, and then obviously the House of Cards going after Fallon and Bobo, and going after Bobo. It makes you realise that although it's framed differently, none of the prime ministers are as big as the party. Let's just say, some would argue the committee and all that jazz is the true power structure. Who knows? It's a Darwinian system. It's dog eat dog out there. I think this must be them kicking off now, surely.
Good afternoon, you are watching Sky News at 1. We're live in Parliament's central lobby and just half an hour to go until voting closes in the second round of the Conservative leadership contest. Well, today Liz Truss officially kicked off her campaign. Trust Me to Deliver, the Foreign Secretary sets out her stall to lead the Conservative Party and the country.
Times are going to be tough, but I know that I can get us on an upward trajectory by 2024.
In it for the long haul, candidate Tom Tugendhat promises.
It's so funny hearing all this bullshit in it, man. It's like, how many times have you heard it? How many times are you going to get politicians
who they choose as their leader?
Look, he's got his... Who the fuck is that?
Who can champion those ideas and values in the election that's coming.
He looks like
on the move in the bid for support.
Carr, Alan Carr.
Gives her pitch for power the thumbs up.
I believe I'm the only authentic Brexiteer to continue the
I think she was in EastEnders at some point.
Manifesto.
Well, the current frontrunner, Rishi Sunak, will be hoping to cling on to his first-round lead.
He's definitely from Star Trek, I know that much. He's a fucking Romulan, straight up Romulan, that
all
cunt.
the analysis as the final six prepare to hear
Put on your They Live sunglasses and you
favourites.
see it's Romulan.
I've always been impressed by her ever since I've got into Parliament, and I think that she is also known for getting a grip, focusing on delivery.
It's very clear that Rishi has a very strong following. He's got a lot of support. He's got a lot of support of lots of different people, actually, North, South, Brexiteers, Remainers.
I've worked with Penny. I've known her for the best part of 20 years. And
Who the fuck's Penny?
As a woman who
Alice!
has
Who the fuck is Penny?
determined to achieve them, and in a wide variety of government departments.
Well, the process to whittle down the six names once more is nearly over for today. We'll bring you all of the latest live ahead of another elimination later on this afternoon.
Right, there's only one way I know how to sort this out, so... There we go. Ah, man. I need to sort myself out a new system ASAP. Anyway, let's get back to the shit show.
Hello, good afternoon. You're watching Sky News at 1. We are live in Parliament's central lobby, where in the committee corridors here, there's just half an hour left for Conservative MPs to place their votes in the latest round of the race to become the next Prime Minister. So for the next 30 minutes, the future of the six candidates remaining in the battle to be the new Conservative leader is being decided once again. Those six, Rishi Sunak, Penny Mordaunt, Liz Truss, Suella Braverman, Kemi Badenoch and Tom Tugendhat. They're all still in the running to succeed Boris Johnson in the top job. Well, let's take a look now, shall we, at the numbers from the first round ballot that was held yesterday. Our first look, really, at how the MP's vote is falling. Rishi Sunak topped the poll.
I was watching some of the
Penny Mordaunt was second.
on the right media.
Independent
media! And a lot of them were pushing the wee young Margaret Thatcher type there on the top left.
Suella Braverman
Second for the top
32,
left.
and then the next two names eliminated, Nadeem Zahawi on 25 and Jeremy Hunt on 18. So, under the rules, that means that we have six candidates taking part in the vote that is currently going on today. But because they got less than 30 votes, Nadeem Zahawi and Jeremy Hunt were both eliminated yesterday. So this is how it's going to work going
and
forward.
Then we had
Conservative
six.
MPs are right now casting their
Next
votes in
round.
the second round. It's a secret ballot, so no one knows who is voting for who unless they tell us. That goes until 1:30 this afternoon, just half an hour's time that vote closes. The result will then be announced by Sir Graham Brady at 3 p.m. So when the candidate with the fewest votes is going to be eliminated from the contest. We'll find out who that is at 3. The next vote then will be held on Monday, with further ballots next week as necessary until just 2 candidates remain.
Man.
And then the whole party membership will be balloted on the final 2 names. So with a new party leader and Prime Minister will be named by the 5th of September.
Fuck's sake, so Bobo's
Really,
going to stay into 5th of September.
Officially launched her leadership campaign. She promised to get the country.
When is a resignation not a resignation?
We have to level with the British public that our economy will not get back on track overnight. Times are going to be tough, but I know that I can get us on an upward trajectory by 2024. We can get there by delivering our promises, ensuring spades are in the ground, people are in jobs, and money is being...
Right, why don't you make your manifesto, your promises that you're going to deliver on, legally binding? Why don't you write it into law that political parties have to write it into some sort of a legally binding contract? All the pish they spew on the lead up to wanting votes off of people. How many babies they're kissing and how many people's ass they're kissing.
generated in local areas right across our country. I can know it can be delivered by working relentlessly together as a team and focusing on delivery, delivery and delivery. That's how we can turn things around, and that's how the Conservatives can win the next election.
Liz Truss launching her campaign there. Currently, she's in 3rd place. She'll be hoping to eke away some more support as she gets to the final 2. And today, Suella Braverman described herself to Sky News as the only candidate that is honest about fixing illegal migration.
I believe I'm the only authentic Brexiteer to continue the Brexit promises contained in our 2019 manifesto.
And a lot of them who now support Brexit didn't support Brexit at the time of Brexit.
Who is
absolute snakes, man. A lot of them.
Fixing illegal migration, namely the small boats crossing the channel.
Yeah, and you want to come out of the European Convention on Human Rights. Why do you want to do it?
Well, I've seen throughout my experience, I was a barrister specialising in immigration law, defending the Home Office before I was an MP, and as Attorney General, I've seen firsthand that we can't fix the problem of illegal migration because of human rights claims and because of an interventionist, politicised foreign court in Strasbourg, which is intervening to thwart our domestic policies, as we saw last month on the Rwanda flight.
Suella Braverman there, one of the candidates who could be eliminated today, and another, Tom Tugendhat,
now,
also
you may or may not support that statement. Just remember, if you do support that statement, all she's doing is deliberately pulling that out to tickle your balls.
Is with the membership, which is really important because you've got to
just like every other politician before them.
Who send you here in the first place. But the next stage is about the country, and I think what members of Parliament and what members
Alan
of the
Carr.
Party
When did he join the Conservative Party, man?
Is that whoever it is who they choose as their leader at the end of this process is somebody who can champion those ideas and values in the election that's coming in 2024. And then I hope, maybe, in 2029 as well.
Well, in many ways, I think the result yesterday was a bit of a surprise, with lots of momentum behind Penny Mordaunt. How is that going to play now that she is perceived to be one of the front runners? And then, of course, what happens at the bottom of the pack? We'll find out at 3 p.m. today. In the meantime, we have got our Deputy Principal Editor, Sam Coates, here to guide us through the process.
I'll be in the gym chilling like a villain.
So what are you looking ahead to today?
Well, the first thing to say, Sophie, is here we are at lunchtime, 25 minutes or so until ballots close on the second round of voting.
Circumstances meant I couldn't do not the info
who is likely
Tuesday,
to
so
be
I'm
our
going to do
Prime Minister
on
from
Friday.
the field that we've got in front of us. I can see a path right now to Rishi Sunak facing Liz Truss in the final. I can see a path to Rishi Sunak facing Penny Mordaunt in the final. I can see a path to Penny Mordaunt facing Liz Truss. All of those things are being discussed and debated and fought over up on Committee Room 14 on the floor above us, where for the last couple of hours I've been hanging out talking to MPs as they come out. And I think when we get to that 3 o'clock announcement, there are a couple of things that I'm going to be particularly looking for. Is the momentum, how does the momentum shift for the different candidates? Can Rishi Sunak have another big jump from 88 after his performance on the radio this morning and elsewhere, up to over 100? I think that would be a credible goal for him to be aiming at if he's going to find all the way up to 120, which is what he needs to be in the final two. Does Liz Truss put on a large number of votes? Yesterday's tally of 50 seemed underwhelming to many, but she's obviously come out with her launch this morning. There are some high-profile, well-respected, kind of mid-level ministers, the likes of Tom Pursglove and Ed Argar, who were backing others yesterday who have come out for Liz Truss. But does she still see a trickle of support, or is there something more meaningful? And finally, you've got this insurgent in the race, Penny Mordaunt, the members' favourite, the candidate who appears to be offering a fresh start, wasn't really a prominent player in Boris Johnson's cabinet. Does she see another big step change in the numbers supporting her?
I'm interested to know how the race has changed, even in the 24 hours since you and I were last standing here in Central Lobby. Penny Mordaunt, as you say, doing much better than many anticipated in that first ballot. Has that changed the nature of the race? In other words, is she receiving a bit more friendly fire from other candidates now?
Absolutely.
God almighty, man, it's like...
our YouGov poll that we talked about for a lot of yesterday, putting her in the
high
lead,
school
with the fact that she came second amongst MPs.
Popularity contest at a fucking prom, innit?
Race, both for good and for bad from her. Now, it's important to understand a couple of things about Penny Mordaunt. First of all, if viewers at home don't know very much about her, well, that's true of large numbers of Conservative
What's Robbie
MPs.
Fowler doing
Explaining
politics?
People, Tory MPs, ministers, saying we just don't know that much about her. So all of a sudden we've got effectively a relative unknown in the final 3 or 4
in the
candidates.
Afternoon.
The other big important thing that I'm
doing,
picking
buddy?
up is that there is growing concern from the right of the party.
I see the shorts done well, man.
Liz Truss or Suella Braverman or Kemi Badenoch.
I seen you out in your garden with your shorts on.
End up on the ballot with Rishi Sunak. In which case, the traditional Conservative
your short
Party
clips, mate,
which I think at this point probably comprises 110, different MPs, would feel perhaps they
I know, mate, it's going to be a shit show till September.
On the ballot in the round with the membership. So
how many promises?
This morning
how
on
many
Talk Radio with Lord Frost, who remember negotiating
crumbs for the
Boris
table are they
Johnson's
going to
Brexit
promise
deal,
you?
coming out and making hugely aggressive
and
attacks
the thing
Penny Mordaunt,
that
saying,
pisses me off
she
is
tough enough that she was
when they say something that somebody might agree with,
when he needed her
they go,
as
oh, they're alright actually. They don't understand all they're doing is tickling their balls for their vote.
Sufficient calibre to become Prime Minister. Backed up then by a serving Cabinet Minister, Simon Clarke, Chief Secretary of the Treasury, coming out and agreeing with Lord Frost. So we're starting to get quite nasty attacks from parts of the party, and I think that's because there is a concern that the right may not be represented on the ballot if Penny Mordaunt does it and Liz Truss doesn't.
Right, let's see if the BBC is taking a slightly different angle.
The summer holidays are coming.
Prime Minister saying she's ready to do the job from day one. The 6 remaining candidates in the race to replace Boris Johnson are facing another vote today.
Truss.
Ms Truss says she deserves to go through to the next round.
I can
Truss and
lead,
Sunak
I
are the
can
only
make
ones
tough
whose name I
decisions,
know.
and I can get things done. I am ready to be Prime Minister.
I remember years
from
ago I
day
used to know
one.
the name of all the
The
politicians
results of the
and stuff.
second round of
Just,
voting by Conservative MPs will be announced around
it's
3
no
this
longer on
afternoon.
my
Also this lunchtime. It
things
took
to do
ambulances
list.
in England an average of 51 minutes to respond to an emergency like a heart attack or stroke last month, much higher than the 18-minute target time. After months of travel disruption and flight cancellations, how ready are airports and airlines as we approach the summer holidays? At the Old Bailey, Oscar-winning actor Kevin Spacey has pleaded not guilty to 4 charges of sexually assaulting 3 men.
Oh, what is it
And a
with
secret
guys in
portrait
power
of Vincent van
fondling
Gogh
each
has been discovered
fucking
by
guys
experts.
left, right and centre, man.
And coming up on the BBC News channel, after a thumping defeat in the first one-day international, the series is on the line for Joss Butler's England in the second game against India at Lord's.
See, in fact, last Thursday when I was shown on the live stream the newspaper, there was buskers floating about. Fucking copyrighted, man. It just gets monetised by X, Y, or Z who owns it and stuff. It doesn't affect your channel, but still, you're on the street and there's buskers halfway down the street and it's in the background. And anyway,
6 candidates will be knocked out when the results are announced this afternoon. The former Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, topped the first round yesterday. The Trade Minister, Penny Mordaunt, was second. The third-place candidate...
Surely could do this a wee bit quicker under the circumstances. There's a big fat imposter, big fat tramp,
insurance rise.
with a bad haircut, some homeless guy is squatting in number 10.
Another day, another pitch.
It's just this fat homeless guy where you can clearly see he's not had his haircut or cuts it himself.
I will campaign as a Conservative. And I will govern.
I would hope so. You're on the Conservative Party, you dumb bitch. What the fuck kind of empty... Literally looks like a blow-up doll there. That's subliminal messages. She's doing that deliberately. That's how real she is.
I can lead, I can make tough decisions, and I can get things done. I am ready to be Prime Minister from day one.
The former Remainer has reinvented herself as a champion of Brexit and has no shortage of slogans.
Bacon, mate, nice
Together,
one.
we will level up the country in a Conservative way, making it an aspiration nation.
She said she was proud of her role in Boris Johnson's government, but admitted disagreements in private.
Thank you to everyone who...
Penny Mordaunt has the momentum in this race, in second place, but now drawing attacks from some Tories. Her former boss at the Brexit department, Lord Frost, said she wasn't fully accountable or visible, and he had to ask the Prime Minister to move her on. The sniping is all part of the process, according to another, less well-known candidate.
This is a really short interview round for a hell of a big job.
Tom.
I don't think it's that surprising that people who know all of us are pretty vocal about
Tug end hat.
In the heat of this contest, those pitching to be Prime Minister are facing
these are the people we've got to choose for,
on their
man.
promises and their personalities.
Where's, like,
as MPs vote again to narrow the field down
John
further,
Smith.
There's an upset at this stage. It's a race for second place.
Dangleberry Humperdinck.
Front-runner among MPs, Rishi Sunak hit back at criticism from some.
A fucking Romulan. It's not a Romulan, he's a Romulan, straight out of Star Trek.
And I think people can judge me
I know
by my
that's what
actions
Spock
over the
does,
past
but I think
couple of years.
Romulans
Whenever
do the
I
hang
needed
with
to
the thumb.
step in to support people, I have, and furlough is a fantastic example of that.
Two other candidates trailing after yesterday's voting.
She's definitely been in
Braverman
EastEnders,
and
by the
Kenny
way.
Badenoch have vowed to fight on. But the contender with the least support will leave the race today, and further votes will narrow it down to a final two. Who'll go head-to-head among Conservative Party members over the summer. Jonathan Blake, BBC News.
Let's talk to our political correspondent Ben Wright, who is at Westminster. And as the contest goes on, Ben, it's getting nastier.
Yes, Victoria, this contest is coming to the boil and some of the attacks are getting quite personal. Jonathan talked about Penny Mordaunt, who was second yesterday after the first round of voting.
It's not a conspiracy.
Behind her, and I think that's
Mark, we need to sort that out,
people
mate, and do a
who
trial
want to
run.
stop her, frankly. So today, Lord Frost, the former Brexit minister, who worked with Penny Mordaunt briefly in government, said he had grave reservations about her.
I should be pretty much footloose and fancy-free over this weekend. It should be.
Agree with that.
Grab a chat over the weekend and maybe we can grab a few stories together or something.
Really try and turn the other
a few
cheek and
links
say that Penny has nothing but respect
and do
for Lord
something
Frost. He
maybe
did a
during
huge
the
amount to assist our negotiations until he resigned from
Just
government.
an idea.
Penny will
Do a
always
trial
fight
run, you know,
for
get our
Brexit
feet
and
wet.
always has. So that's the response from Penny.
I'm assuming
Mordaunt.
it will evolve,
this
you know.
I think, getting quite ugly
See
as the
what
field
works,
starts
what
to
doesn't.
narrow. Rishi Sunak,
So on and so
certainly I
forth.
think at the end of today's voting will want to show that he has a comfortable
Can be
lead
current things
over
or
his rivals. I mean, his
historical
conspiracy to make it through to a vote of the wider membership.
do some of the
It
old
does
school
feel the
shit.
battle is for second place at the moment. Now, Liz Truss, as you just heard, a little late in this contest, made her leadership launch speech today, stressing her tax cut credentials, saying that she has the experience to be able to become Prime Minister from day one. She has got quite a job on her hands, though, I think, to build her support in a fairly short amount of time. She's hoping that she can get support from the Conservative right, particularly if people like Suella Braverman do drop out of this contest in the next round or two. But remember, there is a long way to go. This remains a very unpredictable, volatile race, and we still haven't got to the point where the final two candidates go, of course,
it's
to the Tory party
Darwinian
membership. They have the job, not Tory MPs, of ultimately picking the next Prime Minister.
Thanks, Ben. Figures from
Yep.
the NHS out
Don't
today
you just
show
love the mocker
emergency
scam,
services
folks?
is getting worse. With record
Did we
numbers of
elect
people going to
Theresa
A&E,
May? Did we
patients in
elect
England
Bobo?
waiting
Suppose
much longer
Bobo
for
was
ambulances,
in
and many
charge,
staff off sick.
but it
Our
was
health
more the
correspondent
Labour
is Jim
Party were
Reid. So
absolutely
today's
divided
figures,
and
are they
scattered.
surprising or
The
not?
SNP
Vic,
killed them up
summer
here with
is
their
usually a time, traditionally a time
political
you'd expect
European
NHS
Union
performance to
dictatorship,
improve. So doctors and nurses saying this morning
which
it's
weakens the Labour
concerning that
Party
we appear to
nationally.
be seeing the very opposite of that.
And the Labour Party are just full of fannies right now. Keir Starmer and before him Corduroy Corbyn.
Category 2 emergency. So this
Keir
is something like
Starmer
a
is more
stroke or
right
a
wing than fucking
suspected
Boris
heart
Johnson.
attack. The target there is
marbles
for an
in his
ambulance
mouth
to
and
get to
everything.
someone within
Sir
18
Keir,
minutes.
this is the Starmer.
Last month in June, the average in England was 51 minutes. And paramedics are saying one big reason for that is that they're arriving at hospitals which are so busy they're having to wait to unload patients. Let's look at as well at what's happening actually inside
Why are the
A&E.
hospitals
So again,
so
the
busy?
target there is to treat someone or see someone within 4 hours. Last month, a quarter of patients who turned up had to wait longer than that. And then there's the kind of wider pressure in hospital itself. The waiting list for what's called a routine operation is still growing. So this could be something like a hip replacement,
This is the same scam.
6.6 million
Sturgeon
people in England now on a waiting list for something like that.
Has pulled
one in
in
9
her
of the entire
constituency
population
up here,
of England.
Govan Hill.
What's the NHS
Run
saying
it into the
So they point out
fucking
that last month in June
ground.
was the busiest
People
June for both A&E
crying out
departments
for a
and for 999 calls
solution.
answered.
Politicians,
In the history
more
of the
money,
NHS,
more
they say
money,
there's been
more
problems
money.
discharging
And in the
patients,
meantime,
often from hospital into social
well,
care.
it
They
has
point
been
out
run into the
rising
ground people
COVID rates as
with
well, and of
bags
course,
of
more
fucking
recently,
cash
we've
that need to
had
park
this heatwave,
somewhere
which
to
has
make
added to
money.
pressure. Overall,
Invest
NHS bosses
it in the
describing the pressure the health
NHS
service is facing at the moment as
services,
significant.
or in
Very
the
much, Jim.
case of
Jim Reid, our
Sturgeon,
health correspondent.
buy all the property and buy all the
first
bits
of
and
the money
bobs
from
that
the government to help you
will
with soaring
rise
energy
in
bills will
price
start hitting
or get
bank, building society,
put in
and
as
credit
part of a
union accounts from today.
compulsory
8
purchase
million
order
households in
later
receipt
on,
of
and they'll make a
means-tested
shed load.
benefits will get £326 by the end of July.
People never think
The
of that
second payment
dimension,
will come
having your own
later this
little
year.
political dictatorship up here,
The
and
Metropolitan
why
Police has
Sturgeon's
begun an investigation
constituency
into the
is such a
revelation by Samo
fucking
Farah that he was
shithole.
trafficked to the UK
Why it's
as a
been
child.
ran into the
In a
ground.
BBC documentary, the four-time
I used to
Olympic
stay
gold
there
medalist
for
says he
about
arrived
a year
under
and a
false
half,
name
maybe a
after
bit longer.
escaping war in Somalia.
And when I
He was
stayed there,
separated from his family
it wasn't as
and
much of a
forced into
shithole
domestic
as it
slavery.
is now.
The Home Office has already said he will
Oh,
face
there's little
no
Sturgeon there.
In Sri Lanka, demonstrators have begun leaving government buildings, which they've occupied for
Of course,
several
why?
days, despite
Why would you
failure
kick somebody
of
out for being an
President
illegal
Gotabaya
immigrant when they've
Rajapaksa
ran round a
who
fucking
resigned.
racetrack very fast for you?
President who fled the country.
That's just no cricket.
You know, this is a deeply undemocratic process to elect a Prime Minister in the circumstances that the UK is in just now. I think all of them will move the Tories to the right, and that is quite a big...
No! See what I mean? Any politician, even no matter how much a cretin they are capable of pulling out shit you might agree with at some points. Doesn't mean they're good, doesn't mean they're big, doesn't mean they're clever. She's still a little Hitler. It just means they're pulling out shit out their speechwriters' hands that you may agree with.
Statement, because the Tories are, certainly in terms of the Scottish mainstream, pretty right-wing already, and none of them seem to have anything to offer Scotland except democracy.
Yeah, we've got a wee little Hitler up here whose party were investigated with their collaboration with the Nazis during World War II. Their leader, in fact, the leader, her predecessor back in the day. And I wonder why the Socialist National Party of Scotland would be collaborating with the Socialist National Party of Germany, aka the Nazis. I don't understand it. It's almost as if they're come for the same political fucking point of view. Well, the Nazis wanted to take over Europe with Central Command, welcome to the European Union, and little Hitler here wants to take Scotland out of one union to join another. The clue's in the name. The European Union. That's where she wants to take us.
Denial. So I don't see any of them offering anything positive for Scotland at all, and that's the problem. Scotland is facing yet another Prime Minister, the fourth in my time as First Minister, that we haven't voted for, would not vote for.
Yeah, that's because we vote as a union, all together, all in it together. Like, I'm pretty sure she's aware of that.
Well, we're getting closer to the moment when the second ballot closes. Looking at the clock now, I make it just.
She's not got enough dictatorial powers up here in Scotland's police and political dictatorship.
Party, but also critically, the next Prime Minister. One person will be eliminated today from the candidates still in. Well, we're joined now by our Deputy Political Editor, Sam Coates. And really, I guess it matters enormously who is eliminated today and who makes it through to the next round. Why is it so important?
That's right, Sophie. It is of massive import to Rishi Sunak and to Penny Mordaunt and to Liz Truss, which of, really, let's be honest, Tom Tugendhat or Suella Braverman bites the dust and their campaigns go out today. For this reason, not only are there TV debates from now on in, but also, say you're Rishi Sunak, do you want to be in this contest with that Conservative Party membership, effectively, when it gets to the membership, the most left-wing of the candidates within the kind of Tory party? We're talking kind of still centre-right, but to the left of every other candidate. Or is it helpful for a few days to have Tom Tugendhat from the One Nation group further to your left, so you don't look like you're on one extreme or another? If you are Liz Truss, do you really want Suella Braverman to be there, perhaps appealing to the Brexiteer voices, highlighting why she is more hardline on some issues like the European Convention of Human Rights?
I don't know if you've been paying attention, but Boris didn't quit. He lost the confidence in his party, and he resigned.
But there's a question of that about exactly.
And if he didn't resign, the party, the Parliament, and the party would have called for a vote of no confidence. And
it helps them,
just like I said earlier, that's not cricket in the UK. We do things politely and like gentlemen, like right honourable gentlemen in the Parliament. And what you'll find is that's the way Prime Ministers bite the dust. They're very rarely, I need to go and check my history books, but it's very rarely they get kicked out.
You're a front runner on one of those flags.
Usually they know the writing's on the wall.
TV debates coming up. The next ballot won't be until Monday.
Resign.
That's right. I think it's that sense that you need to maintain momentum. But the reason you might not be able to do this is because each of the three
Bobo's still into this 5th of September.
Will Rishi Sunak, with that large Stop Rishi campaign going on below the surface in the Conservative Party, still be able to show momentum?
My God, man, that's
the 88 MP backers he's got today. Will Penny Mordaunt,
the whole half hour on Sky News devoted to the voting, I think.
And will Liz Truss, with her leadership launch today, be able to see a big jump?
Chaos in our politics, chaos in our police up here, or Scottish Super Police Force Scotland are voting for a strike or a day of inaction or something. I don't know how they're going to work it. There's also not enough police people joining the police. The NHS is falling to fucking apart. People are in uproar about what's going on in the schools.
Your candidate is going to stay in the race.
That's if kids are going to school anymore.
He'll stay in the race. He wasn't the bottom yesterday. He can make progress today. I've absolutely been working on that all morning.
It's fucking like it's crazy to think.
This entire
the pandemic's coming back. Somebody was in the chat room saying they're going to bring back lockdown to Australia.
Once Tom gets on the television, people see what he's about, understand
how
what his
much weight there was or wasn't in that at all.
I think you might be in a completely different race come Monday morning when MPs come back to Westminster.
He has got to get over the vote today, of course, which is going to be, could potentially be a tussle between him and Suella Braverman. How much of a disappointment was it that Jeremy Hunt decided to back Rishi Sunak, not Tom Tugendhat?
Well, I think, look, I mean, Jeremy is a fine Conservative and he will make his own decision about where he goes. Look, in this race, we have brilliant candidates.
You were hoping for his support.
You know, absolutely, I would have thought Tom was a natural home for Jeremy, but people make all sorts of decisions about, you know, where they may be and who maybe their supporters feel they should support as well. But I think actually getting Tom onto the TV debates is really important. It shows we're a broad-based party. We can have a much wider debate.
I want to be firing off to the gym as soon as possible, so I can
changed her mind now. She's changed her mind. And I think we are a broad party and we need that broad debate so we can unite our party and the country as the new Prime Minister goes forward.
I've got to ask your reaction to the poster that was behind Tom Tugendhat today at Tart in the background. Not exactly the best optics. I think it was supposed to say Start, wasn't it?
Well, you know, these things happen in leadership races. I'm sure we won't be using that poster again. But, you know, that's not the most interesting.
Guessing the perfect smile by filing down most of your natural teeth and gluing a cap or crown on top. It's been dubbed Turkey Teeth because it's one of the most popular destinations people are travelling to for this look. Cosmetic dental work is much cheaper in Turkey than in the UK. Tilly is 22 and says she hated her old teeth.
Ever since a young age I was bullied for my teeth, so I grew a complex against them. I didn't like them.
I wonder if she spoke about that actually because she got a lot of big fucking false teeth.
So earlier this year, Tilly travelled to Turkey for 16 new crowns.
Oh, I don't want to watch that. It's going to give me the heebie fucking cheebies, man. I'm assuming something's going to go wrong, and I don't even want to see the pictures. I don't want to know about it.
Right now, counting down to the moment when polls are closed, and they are
shit happens when you fuck with shit like that.
And that means that voting is
seen
over.
This in
Conservative MPs have
real
now
life,
had their chance to have their say in the second ballot
crazy.
Of the Conservative leadership contest.
People doing
now,
things to their body they don't need to do and just turning out to
so of course what people say publicly could be very different to what happens in
out of politeness, you can't really go, ha, I told you so.
Who's got the momentum? Who is going to be
out of absolute politeness?
That's what we're going to be finding out. Well, let's bring Sam Cope back in, shall we? Jake Berry there, I guess echoing what you were saying earlier, that they really want to get over this line, don't they, the candidates towards the bottom, so they get their chance to make their pitch in those TV debates.
The headline might be about who goes out, but the significance of what we're going to see in 90 minutes when those votes are counted is we might finally get a sense, a big clue about who are going to be the last two in the contest to be facing the Conservative Party membership, 160, 170,000 or so members who must choose Britain's next Prime Minister. That's what's at stake. Sometimes in these rounds of voting, you see such a leap in the number of support for individual candidates that you can pretty much tell who's going to be in the final two, and that'll tell you much more about who's going to be the United Kingdom's next Prime Minister.
And actually, I guess, with that in mind, all eyes on Rishi Sunak. You know, he got 88 MP votes yesterday. He's always been, by far and away, the leading contender in terms of MP support. But I think it was interesting where you were saying that you could see a path now to him not being in that final two.
I'm going to just cover
for 3 o'clock.
Does
Rishi Sunak go from 88 to over 100?
About the
Is Penny Mordaunt
shit show of the Tories'
leadership? Does
battle?
Liz Truss get a substantial uplift? And do the
and just remember, folks, even though Bobo has resigned, he's in charge until September the 1st.
More than 120, which would
don't know how much in charge he can actually be, because
those are the kind of things we're going to be looking at.
Can you be in
addition
charge
to who goes out to try and divine 90 minutes time?
But who knows?
In the final two?
It really matters, as you say.
Anyway, check out the channel for the stream later on.
Prime Minister on the 5th of September.
Around 5:30ish, 6 o'clock.
Announced. Now, as always with these things, I
get
find
some
it
folk
quite intriguing, the amount of skullduggery that goes on behind the scenes. Do you think we could see candidates who know that they're going to sail through these early rounds starting to lend their support to other candidates to try and effectively manufacture?
So have a good show.
Okay, I'll be up on committee corridor, which is just outside that committee room 14, where all of the
voting
is taking place. We've had
I'll be here tomorrow for another Like the Dog news, and I should be doing
The first is the desperate
not
push
the
for some
Infowars
candidates to
Nightly
get more
News
support.
tomorrow
Now,
night
that
as
is
well, 'cause
involved
I've got all the
figures.
links and stuff.
Name often
Just
here
couldn't make it
mentioned
on
is
Tuesday,
Gavin Williamson. Now,
unfortunately.
he's not officially the person that's
So,
in charge
folks,
of
thanks for
whipping
tuning in.
Rishi
If you do appreciate Wag Dog News, appreciate what I'm doing, get a wee giggle, shits and giggles, all for the dollars. Give it a wee thumbs up, that is much appreciated. Hopefully see you tomorrow afternoon. Who knows what the shit show's going to be like then. I'm sure tonight when we're doing, if I'm out with the people doing the light newspaper, I shall have the news of the Conservative Party vote stuff, which shall be interesting. And tomorrow night for Not the Infowars Nightly News, Universe permitting. Alrighty, boob tubes. Have a good afternoon. Hopefully, catch yous this evening around 5:30, 6 o'clock, dinner time. You can watch me on your phone when you're having your dinner. Catch yous.
Clips, clips.
And remember, citizens, always subscribe and hit the bell. Everything will be well in 1995. Plus, shipping and handling will keep you out of hell. Why does a dog wag its tail? Because a dog is smarter than its tail. If the tail were smarter, the tail would wag the dog. Wag the dog in politics is the act of creating diversion from a damaging issue. Here at Wag the Dog News, the tail doesn't wag the dog. Enjoy.
Clips, clips.
And remember, citizens, always subscribe. Hit the bell, everything will be well. 1995. Plus, shipping and handling will keep you out of hell.